Blue buff to be your password to get into a battle?
No, I'm pretty sure I don't want that.
You sure?
Yes.
You're 100% sure.
Yes, I don't want a pair of balls and a brown tube sticking around.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't want that.
Okay.
Though, I will say that Let's Go also proved as an interesting testing ground for certain ideas because the meta is because it's not a past tense thing yet. Like it is not the greatest thing in the world because it is very centralized due to how small it is and the fact that your best Pokemon are basically one, the special Eevee because it's kind of unfair that the Eevee is considerably better than the Pikachu, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Pikachu does get some nice stuff. The electric quick attack that guarantees a critical hit and the surf, quote unquote, that paralyzes.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the fact that Eevee actually has versatility and all of its moves do something.
True, yeah, Eevee has more stuff.
It has auto burn, it has a damaging move that can burn, damaging move that can paralyze, damaging move that is a water type Giga Drain, damaging move that sets up a light screen, a reflect, a leech seed,
Pikachu has the quick
and a haze.
Pikachu has the quick attack and has the references to Surf Pikachu and the balloons Pikachu.
So it's unfair right away that you have to buy the Eevee version if you want to have the best potential, because you can't trade the Eevee or Pikachu because they are basically they're exclusive to their game specifically.
I mean, they gave the best possible options to the best possible Pokemon.
It's true. This is true.
I've played through both versions, one of which was for my YouTube. The Pikachu one, I don't think I caught any shinies, but the Eevee one, I got a shiny Rattata.
I can't speak for shiny hunting because I tried it once and 15 hours later I am done and I am never doing that again. But I know that shiny hunting is there's an interesting experience to that. But with competitive, another thing I liked was how in the game they streamlined moves like what they did to teleport in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is honestly amazing. It's an idea I really hope is not abandoned because teleport did nothing in normal battles, I think.
Wow.
I don't think it did anything at all. But in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's basically a dry baton pass where it doesn't pass any buffs that you have, but it's also a -6 priority, which means that your opponent can waste a turn landing a move on you or doing whatever they did, and then you get a free switch from that.
Yeah, I usually don't prioritize shiny hunting when I play through Pokemon games. I just play casual and try to get as many Pokemon as I can, but if I somehow run into a shiny randomly, it's like, oh, cool, a shiny.
As far as Let's Go is concerned, playing casual is probably the best way to go about it because the meta, it's also a meta where there's no rapid spin, but there's also stealth rocks.
Ooh.
No defogging. No defogging.
Oh yeah, there's no hazard removal. Let's Go has almost no recovery moves. I think Giga Drain, not even Giga Drain, Mega Drain, which is now buffed to the power of Giga Drain, is one of the few recovery moves in the game besides Leech Seed. But you can't actually, there's no way to gain, there's very few ways the game was actually lost, because can Chansey even learn, Soft Boil?
I don't even use Chansey in the game.
Oh.
She should.
Because I know there's some Pokemon I gain, there's a few that gain, I think there's a few that still gain recover.
Isn't softball?
Well, because I could have sworn Stormy lose a recover. Either way,
No, recovery is a thing. Mewtwo has it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, there's limited recovery in the game. There's no items. The meta is definitely tailored around the toolbox that it has. So it's interesting, but it's more or less a stepping stone that I hope they can learn from.
Then again, some Pokemon did get some weird choices for the moveset. Like, Beedrill gets Outrage as a level up, which I was surprised to find out.
Yeah, it gets Outrage.
It gets Outrage on every level of Beedrill.
I mean, you piss off a bee.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Let's Go was surprisingly good. It was surprisingly enjoyable. It's a game that I legitimately recommend if you just want a Pokemon game experience. If you just want to play a new Pokemon game, it's honestly worth it. No matter what price, well, as long as you don't pay over retail price. Basically, but either buy it used or just buy it new. Either way, it's fine. You still good for that? But yeah, I guess now we can move on from Let's Go as we go into Detective Pikachu. Because we got the game last year and then we got the live action movie, which was interesting. I personally liked I literally was on board with it for 90% of the movie up until the climax. Because, in my opinion, it nailed the world of Pokemon for like the idea of a real life Pokemon world, but then the movie, the climax is the most incoherent and stupidest thing I've ever seen, and I absolutely hate it. And yes.
On this. You want to know what I would prefer over this? Pokemon Origins Gold and Silver in live action. Oh my god.
I don't need it live action, just like I'm perfectly fine with just it being animated.
There are that rumors that we're getting one for Gen 1. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, on that note, there is talk that Legendary is trying to set up basically a Pokemon cinematic universe, and the next film they are trying to get off the ground is a live action adaptation of Red and Blue, which
that could be interesting.
I would pay good money for that.
well, the thing I'm worried about that is that we saw what happened in Detective Pikachu, where it became a superhero movie at the end, where it's a big battle in the city as a climax, where you have to fight a MacGuffin. I'm worried they're somehow going to do that with Red and Blue, because the big thing about Red and Blue that I really like is how personal the story is. Like, it's just the journey of one kid exploring the Pokemon world and filling out the Pokédex technically as a favor to an old man. And then the world around him has a story that's going on that he gets involved in because he's just basically a Boy Scout.
Well, actually, yeah. We don't really need that because we already had Origins. That was basically.
Yeah, that was basically a 2-hour anime movie of Red and Blue. But you were saying,
I do
dude.
have an idea how they could do it though. They
Oh,
want,
jeez.
they want a cinematic universe. I do have an idea real quick. Okay, first of all, this is gonna sound insane, but you start with a Zelda movie, Twilight Princess to be exact, and then at the end of that, the camera zooms back to reveal the screen we're watching the whole time was nothing more than a TV in somebody's house, and that somebody was Pokemon trainer Ethan Hibiki, soon to be known as Gold. Oh yes.
And then at the end, instead of the Avengers, we have Super Smash Brothers, the movie.
No, you don't. You don't do that.
Yeah,
go from
we do
Zelda to
not need a
Pokemon.
Smash Bros.
I mean,
movie.
do either of you have any thoughts on this movie?
It's basically going to be an anthology series, to be honest.
Pikachu.
Yes.
Well, my opinions are pretty much the same as Silver. Like, I was really into the movie. All the lore, the effects, how the Pokemon models were portrayed, I was actually really into it. But as Silver here said, and I agree, the climax is ridiculous. Let's enrage Pokemon so we can fuse Pokemon and humans together.
What?
Okay.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying this. No.
Yeah, I went in with the lowest expectations, and it actually surprised me. I didn't hate the movie. I found it was rather enjoyable. Yes, the climax was kind of... It was something, but what do you expect out of a Pokemon movie? They usually follow the same plot.
That didn't follow the same plot. That's what killed me.
No, it does.
No, it does. The game does not end like that.
I still fairly enjoyed the movie, to be honest. I still recommend the movie for Pokemon fans. If you're not a Pokemon fan,
Oh yeah, no. The movie does not ease a outsider into Pokemon. You have to know what is going on.
You know what terrified me? The prospect terrified me most of that was Ash showing up. Is he?
no, it doesn't show
Oh,
up.
thank God.
No.
You only see one a Pokeball one time at the beginning. You don't even see a Pokeball anywhere else.
No, he's not in it.
Thank God.
Like, if you like Pokemon, I recommend you trying it.
That
But
would-
for who likes Pokemon, I still recommend. For those who don't like Pokemon, you can skip it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
But there's not much else we can really add on that other than Legendary Pictures, as I said, has proposed the idea, or like they're trying to make a Red and Blue live action. But it's also Legendary Pictures, and the best way I can look at how they handle cinematic universes is just look how they're handling the Godzilla cinematic universe they're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, that's good.
And it's like,
Good point.
well, they're good, they're decent movies, but they've also taken years to just get that off the ground, and even then, it's kind of limping along.
That's
They're
a good
decent.
point. It might
Huh?
be, it
They're
might be
decent.
dead.
I liked King of the Monsters.
Yeah, it might be dead after.
Sure.
It's over.
It's a fun time with the movies, but that seems to be Legendary's thing is good popcorn flicks, which again is the exact same thing with Detective Pikachu. Good popcorn movie, but is it actually good overall?
I still say it's C plus for the effort, because there was still effort-ish until the climax again.
It could have been far worse, and it wasn't the cheap parodies of what a live-action Pokemon movie could have been. And also the fact that the first movie was Detective Pikachu and not just like straight-up Gen 1 pandering, because the movie was not just Gen 1 the movie, which surprised me.
If I'm gonna be 100% honest, Ryan kind of carried the movie.
Yeah. But he's also surprisingly drawn, like held back. Like it's not just him monologuing forever, which really surprised me. But also he was a surprisingly good actor despite being a voice.
I still love the Mr. Mime scene at least. That Mr. Mime scene was just...
The fact that trailers didn't give away the full jokes impresses me.
I just love that Mr. Mime scene.
Yeah, I guess we can from there move on to the next movie.
Oh joy! This is not
So
fire.
the Gen 7 has had an interesting journey when it comes to its Pokemon movies, because the first one was what could have been a pretty alright movie if it wasn't for the fact that it shoved in the Ash origin story into a plot that was otherwise unrelated to the origins of Ash Ketchum. It was very weird, very surreal, and it's like, okay. And then we had Pokemon The Power of Us, or Pokemon Everyone's Story as it's called in Japan, which honestly is, it's not my favorite Pokemon movie, but dear God, has it been the best Pokemon movie we have ever had in years. And a lot of that is in due part to the fact that a lot of the originals, a lot of the staff who routinely work on the Pokemon movies didn't work on that one, because that movie was made by Wit Studio, who are the company that have made Attack on Titan, The Ancient Magus Bride, basically one of my least favorite animes and my second favorite anime. So but they're also making Vinland Saga, so they have that going for them. But again, it was a good movie. I legitimately liked it, and it's like, okay, good, this is a good start. So what's the next movie? A CG remake of Pokemon the first movie with minimal changes.
It's gonna be a dumpster fire. I'll tell you what, the original was a dumpster fire.
Well, the movie is already out, so there's already synopsises of it from Japan. Not much has changed. All I know is that they redesigned Mewtwo, which
Oh, that looks terrible.
I don't like this design at all. I hate it.
Wow, that was like Michael Bay Transformers.
What is
like,
that again?
And I think
Is that Starscream?
Yeah.
I heard that the English version or whatever.
What?
Wow.
Oh.
Wow, that is really bad. That is a
Oh yeah, I'll just give you a good panning shot.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay,
Yeah, that is
sideways.
astonishing.
Is that a transformer? He has those things on him. Is he
Yeah,
going to
that is
transform
like,
into
that is
something?
like, wow.
The things around it are used
Those
doing,
those are the actual things that will like keep them like closed in.
they bind in.
They're actual bindings. So when Giovanni said these bindings will actually suppress their power, like now the bindings actually do something. But I've made the joke that the original Mewtwo armor, which I'm really surprised they've not milked for more merchandise. I've always said it kind of looks like more like a G Gundam mobile suit armor. If anyone knows what G Gundam is, congratulations or thank you. But like this, I've always made the joke. No one will understand. It's basically Gundam Seed, because it's got backpacks and wings and all this guff just hanging off of it.
Yeah, I think I heard that the voice track was going to be reused from the original version for the English
No,
dub.
it's all going to be recast. It's going to be completely recast. The only reason why I was ever hopeful for this movie is because the Japanese version and the English version of Pokemon the first movie is both of them have things the other lacks. Like honestly, the English movie has better music. Ignoring the pop songs, ignoring all the pop songs, the first movie had really good proper theatrical music. The Japanese version just uses the anime soundtrack, which is fine, but it lacked the scene with Charizard fighting Charizard 2 lacks such little punch in the Japanese version because it's just using generic anime stock battle music.
Yeah. Well, what I noticed though from watching the original movie some 20 years ago was because when that movie came out, well, at least in the North American region anyway, Ash's Charizard wasn't obeying him at that point in the anime. Not the case in the movie though.
I think he fought on his
No,
own.
it still rebelled a little in the movie.
So he was fighting another fire type, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like okay, this is a threat. This is a challenge.
Yeah, it was a fight to. Well, he was fighting his clone, which was a fire type. So, I guess I'm partially wrong because it was only going to listen to him if it was fighting another fire type. And the other Pokemon, oh, forget it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it was turned into that.
Funny thing is, the remake actually fixes that.
It does?
When Dragonite comes to deliver the letter, Charizard comes down and tries to fight the Dragonite.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, and to prove my point, I think a couple of episodes before that movie came out or something like that was the fight with Charizard versus Magmar on Cinnabar Island for the Volcano Badge. That was pretty epic.
Relatively speaking, yeah, but there's a what? Oh,
Small face.
wait, there's a okay, yeah, I guess there's a face there.
Wow. Yeah, again, I still can't remember that.
But yeah, so the Mewtwo armor, I'm not a fan of really at all. It's too Gundam seedy for me. But also, what's worse is,
Oh, God.
so
Wow.
as what I expected, the Pokemon in the movie look fine because anyone has cable or sees Pokemon commercials, all the Pokemon TCG commercials are made in CG, and it's like decent enough looking CG. So I think that's why the Pokemon don't bother me. But dear God, Ash legit looks like a Figma.
No.
Yeah. You know, what I'm thinking is, based on the trend of the last couple of years with the Japanese release dates of these movies, I'm thinking the North American release, if the trend for the last couple of years holds true, is probably going to be around the time Sword and Shield comes out.
Yeah, it's going to be around November. That's the most logical thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's the most expected release date.
Now I know why Professor Oak gets confused with the genders.
Oh.
No,
Like the thing that